I can't tell you how many times I have been asked to write a book, more times than I can recall. The reality is that I don't want to write a book. Why not? Because I'm not done yet. I'm young, I'm fun, I'm marginally ugly, and I have a great family. I'm just beginning to get good. It is too early to write a book. What I have written, however, are blog posts. Lots of them. Most of them are about starting businesses. Many are about the challenges entrepreneurs face. Some are about what is involved in running a business. Others are about life in general. This is a book called How to Win at the Sport of Business. If I can do it, you can do it by Mark Cuban. This book, guys, is fantastic. I highly recommend for business leaders and entrepreneurs. It's only 102 pages, so you can easily knock this out. Mark Cuban is one of my favorite entrepreneurs. I don't have a top five or top 10 because there's just so many. And each and every day, I learn about someone new and learn more about their history. Mark Cuban is someone that I have seen on my TV screen since I was like 9, 10 years old. But it wasn't until I got much older and I got into business that I grew to appreciate and everything that he's done throughout his career. He is someone that has literally came from the bottom of the bottom. So I respect his tenacity, his business acumen. What he has done with the Dallas Mavericks was flat out great. And even before Dallas Mavericks, he done great things. So one of the wealthiest entrepreneurs, one of the best, and he's a straight shooter. He's a straight shooter. He's fearless. So I'm gonna start reading you guys. What I read to you was a little portion of his intro. Now I'm gonna start from the beginning. I'm gonna fast forward some parts. I mostly put a star on the parts that I feel like were necessary for me to share with you guys. In every job, I would justify it in my mind, whether I loved it or hated it, that I was getting paid to learn, and every experience would be of value when I figure out what I wanted to do when I grew up. I was 23. I had no money. The 77 Fiat I was driving drank oil faster than I could drink beer and had a huge hole in the floorboard. I was going to stay on the floor of some friends who had moved from the University of Indiana, to a huge apartment complex called the Village in Dallas. I had no idea what the future would bring. I was unemployed and heading to Dallas with zero job prospects. But I knew I had taken a few classes in real world business and got paid for it instead of paying tuition. And I had every intention of continuing to do the same thing until things worked out. When I got to Dallas, I drove up to the address my friend Greg Schreiber had given me. I don't think he expected me to move in. It wasn't like I had many living options. In fact, since he was the only person I knew in town, crashing at his apartment was my only option. It got to a point in Mark Cuban's life where was living like with 6 or 7 different roommates in Dallas. So I don't know how he did it. I can't personally live in an apartment with so many roommates, but everyone's journey is different. Fast forward now to a part that's called part two, lessons learned, my first business rules. I learned from magazines and books. but I also learned from watching what some of the up and coming technology companies of the day were doing. It's funny how the companies that I thought were brilliant back then are still ranking it up today. Every week, a company called PCs Limited used to take a full page ad in a now internet only weekly trade magazine called PC Week. The ad would feature PC peripherals that the company would sell: hard drives, memory, floppy drives, graphics cards, whatever could be added to a PC was there. Fast forward, and this is two, he gives two lessons by the end of the chapter. Lesson number one: always ask yourself how someone could preempt your products or service. How can they put you out of business? Is it price? Is it service? Is it ease of use? No product is perfect. And if there are good competitors in your market, they will figure it out how to abuse you. It's better if you are honest with yourself and anticipate where the problems will come from. Lesson number two: always run your business like you are going to be competing with biggest technology companies in your industry. Google, Facebook, Oracle, Microsoft, whomever. They may not be your direct competitors. They may be a vendor. They may be a direct competitor and a vendor. Whatever they may, whatever they may be to your business, if you are in the technology business in any way, shape, or form, you have to anticipate that you will have to compete with one of them at some point. Now, I'm gonna read you guys apart from the chapter called Sport of Business, one of my favorite chapters of the book. I love the sport of business. I love the competition. I love the fire of it. It's the feeling of the clock winding down, the ball in your hands, and if you hit the shot, you win all day, every day. Relaxing is for the other guy. I may be sitting in front of the TV, but I'm not watching it unless I think there is something I can learn from it. I'm thinking about things I can use in my business, and the TV is just there. I could take the time to read a fiction book, but I don't. I would rather read websites, newspapers, magazines, looking for ideas and concepts I can use. I spend time in bookstores because one idea from a book or magazine can make me money. I'm not going to go to dinner with you just to chat. I'm not going to give you a call to see how you are. Unless you want to talk business, other guys play fantasy sports. I fire the synapses to get an edge. And he breaks down a couple of things about the edge, but I'm going to read the first three. The edge is getting so jazzed about what you do. You just spent 24 hours straight working on a project, and you thought only a couple of hours had passed. The edge is knowing that you have to be the smartest guy in the room when you have your meeting, and you are going to put in the effort to learn whatever you need to learn to get there. The edge is knowing that when the four girlfriends you have had in the last couple of years asked you which was more important, them or your business, you gave the right answer. And to wrap it up, he gives 12 Cuban rules for startups. It's quite long, but I'm gonna pick out of the 12, I'm gonna read number one, three, and seven. Number one, don't start a company unless it's an obsession and something you love. Amen to that. Amen to that. That's why I love the MMM Journal. By the way, YouTube channel, the MMM Journal, is also on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Number three, hire people who you think will love working there. Yep, amen to that as well. Number seven, no offices. Open offices keep everyone in tune with what is going on and keep the energy up. If an employee is about privacy, show them how to use the lock on the John. There is nothing private in a startup. This is also a good way to keep from hiring executives who cannot operate successfully in a startup. My biggest fear was always hiring someone who wanted to build an empire. If the person demands to fly first class or to bring over a personal secretary, run away. If an executive won't go on sales calls, run away. They are empire builders and will pollute your company. Mm. Oh yeah, there's just one more thing because this is my favorite Mark Cuban quote, and I always drill this in my head. I'm constantly reading it and I constantly have to drill it in my head. And this is part of 12 Cuban mantras for success. If you fail, get back up and go for it again. I have been fired from more jobs than most people have had. This is the part that I constantly have to remind myself. In the search for success, you can fail any number of times, but you only have to get it right one time. I'll leave it right there. Like I said, I highly recommend this book right here, How to Win, How to Win at the Sport of Business. If I can do it, you can do it by Mark Cuban. Like I said, one of the best entrepreneurs in the game. Thank you for tuning into this book review. Like I said, I highly recommend to get it. Have a great Thursday, everyone. Be safe, and may God bless each and every one of you. Take care. Oh, from one through five, I give it a 4.6 out of 5 stars. God bless each and every one of you, folks. Keep doing what you're doing. If you have a dream, if you have something that you want to build, go for it. Just remember, it takes years, a lot of hard work, resilience. So there's no age limit, there's no time limit, you know? So it doesn't matter whether you're 20 or 60 years old, go for it. Go for it. We'll get there someday. Once again, be safe and may God bless each and every one of you. Take care.